Once again, a very warm welcome, all of you. This is going to be your last revision class and technically last formal class as well for this particular semester. So, in this class, I'm going to brush up all the components, whatever we have discussed during the PCP class, and I will try to finish it off the revision of entire curriculum. So, I have already shared the screen. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have shared my drive, PGDADLM course curriculum. From there itself, um, you can just traverse through. So I have shared the presentations here. You can see the major components which we have discussed in this semester includes. So first of all, in the first class, we had discussed the overall curriculum and framework on which we were supposed to work on. So fundamentals of research methodologies in the digital era, that was the unit first, and we initiated with that only. Then in that, the basic definitions, key stages, research process, importance of research in digital era, and all those and the related stuffs we discussed. Afterwards, a bit of literature review also was discussed. Then different research methods were discussed. Observations and hypotheses were also touched upon. Uh, all that content is being shared in this particular drive, in which I'm working as of now. Then different data collection methods also we discussed, particularly the questionnaire, interviews, observations, and then research data and data management. We had one session. Then then this was the next one was reference management, where we discussed basically about references, citations, citation management, and in previous classes we discussed a couple of reference managing tools, Bentley and Jotero. Then I have also shared the document related to research collaboration with you people. Then in addition to that, mapping and visualization can be performed through R, that I will show today. Also in the previous class also we had discussed a bit. When discussing about the basics of research, that time itself we had discussed web-based research as well. And in addition to that, um, we have also discussed a bit about data management planning, and other associated steps. So let us recap and go one by one to, I'll go to the slides, and from there itself, I would discuss what are the important aspects we were supposed to discuss, and what all we had discussed. Okay, so to begin with, I think it's fundamentals of research methodologies. Here, in this class, we discussed what is the research methodology, what is research. Okay, so as you can see here, the research is inquisitiveness in the it's a basically it derives from the inquisitiveness, or it can be defined as a systematic effort to gain new knowledge. Okay, these aspects are already covered in the slides. You can go through it, and then a very popular definition given by Clifford Woody about the research. So research comprises the defining and redefining the problems, formulating hypotheses, objectives, collecting, organizing, and evaluating data, making deductions, and reacting conclusions, testing the hypothesis and conclusion to determine whether they fit to the formulated hypothesis or objectives. So basically, this definition includes all the stages or steps which are incorporated or um, done by a researcher during the research process. Then another definition here we have listed, which is there in the famous book of Kotari. So that According to the Kotaris, the search term research refers to the systematic method consisting of enunciating the problems, formulating the hypothesis, collecting the facts or data, analyzing the facts, and reaching certain conclusions, either in the form of solutions towards the concerned problem or in certain generalization for some theoretical. So, in this definition, also you can from this definition you can see that majority the research is defined on the basis of it's a process like identifying the problem, formulating the hypothesis, collecting the facts or data, analyzing the data, reaching to certain conclusion either in the form of solutions towards the concerned problem or in certain generalization. So this is really important. Always you might not be able to completely give the solution. Sometimes it may happen that uh, sometimes it may happen that you are not able to get the final solution. However, um, just a minute, there is a lag. So I would just go to the presentation and we were discussing it. So wait. So sometimes you may not be able to completely solve the problem, the immediate problem. However, it helps you to uh, identify the trend or identify the solution methods, or you can just at least you can know about the domain, and that domain further helps others. For others you can pave the path to when you are conducting the research. Okay, so in addition to that, always in research you do not go for building something new. Sometimes you do the descriptive study when you describe the phenomena. You do the comparative study when you compare the various aspects. Sometimes the prescriptions are derived from the data or information. So so the purpose of research is not limited to just developing something tool or something very new. Okay, it helps you to identify what exists and what addition can be made to that existence. So basically, why the research is performed, there are multiple regions which in detail we have discussed in the class, but a few are facing the challenge to solving the unsolved problem. That is one. So it is a kind of service to a society or getting something which does not exist in the in the research or in the domain. Then to get the intellectual joy also, like sometimes that you may find many people who are retired but they are doing the research. So one of the purposes for such kind of research is to get the intellectual joy. They enjoy doing the research. Then then there are other purposes like directives of the government, then for the employment purpose, then getting promotion, and so many other aspects are there which are associated with the reason for doing a research. Then the major objectives of research is to investigate the truth, and um, the purposes of research is any kind of research in general is to gain the familiarity with the phenomena or achieve new insights to it. Mostly it happens in the exploratory and formulative research studies, and to portray accurately the characteristics of particularly individual situation, or mostly the research methodology followed to achieve this objective is descriptive research study. Then there are other purposes as well, other objectives as well, like for example, to determine the frequency with which something occurs, with which it is associated or something new. This is diagnostic study. And then scientific studies where cause and relationship is being identified between the variables or amongst the variables. So that is done through hypothesis testing or research hypothesis testing or experimental studies. Then In any kind of research, these are the basis for choosing a subject or the area where you want to conduct the study. Based on the idea, you can choose the subject based on your own experience and based on the literature review or the reading. So first of all, you have to plan for the research before doing any kind of research or designing any research. So plan should be crisp, and it's a kind of course of action. Then strategy, you have to strategize it, that how you are going to complete the research, and then you have to define or explore what are the different constraints, and within the given time and budget, how you can achieve the results or do the research. There are different characteristics of research. Characteristics include the different qualities or different required qualities for a research. It includes the systematization. It should not be random. Then it should be logical, empirical. It should be objective. It can be replicable or reproducible by others. So if so you are doing some research based on following the same methodology and data, if someone else want to do the research, the results should not vary much. That is another characteristic of a research. Then, in general, the steps which include for research are choosing a subject, doing a literature search, then formulating the objectives, prepare the synopsis, then procuring up suitable apparatus or materials, then designing the experimental setup, then preliminary experiments, execution of projects, then accurate measurements of data collection. So these are the different aspects in different steps of a research. Here one thing you need to understand that for different kind of research, the steps will not be same, because the nature and the deliverables are different in a research. So accordingly, the steps are also sometimes domain specific. Always you do not follow the same step for an entire domain, or there is no exhaustive step, you can say, for all kind of research. Someone who is doing research in mathematics, maybe is way to look the problem or to do the research maybe different from someone who is doing in a social science or other domains. Then I was talking about the steps after accurately measuring the data, or after data collection, the data need to be analyzed, and hypothesis testing is performed for the verification and inferencing purposes. Then results and discussion is being reported, and finally the interpretations and generalizations are discussed, and conclusions are drawn based on the data and results. Finally, the project report or thesis is being prepared based on the data. And this is the flow chart you can see on your screen for a research process. Okay, so define research problem. First of all, you have to define it, then do the literature survey, formulate the hypothesis, design the research, including the sample design, collect the data, analyze the data using the, or it includes the testing of hypothesis as well. Then finally interpret and report the findings. So this particular slides I've taken from Kothari's book itself. Then some of the important aspects includes in research writing. What you have to, first of all, what you have to do is you have to find the suitable or specified journal. So how you can find a suitable or specified journal? You have to go for the scope. First of all, the journal scope. It is advised that there are there is a care, care list in Indian scenario which came into the picture a few years back. CARE stands for Consortium for Academic and Academic Research Ethics. So this consortium actually it is being let me just get some more people. Four people are waiting. No, few. So so Here is a approach which is given by UGC recently, and they made this consortium to ensure that the publications which are made by the people, uh, those publications should not be in a random place, or particularly to avoid the predatory journals or the sources which are based on completely business model, or their contents are not up to the mark of academic ethics or academic to achieve the proper academic landmark or benchmark. For that, they have listed down the journals. Um, so those journals included in multiple sets. In the first set, all the journals which are included in Scopus and Web of Science, those journals are included by default. If you publish in the Scopus and Web of Science index journals, by default it is care listed. Here also I want to give another I mean, there are the cases where some of the Scopus or Web of Science indexed journals also been excluded from care list because the committee found that those journals are not maintaining their standards. And then there are different domain specific journals which are not indexed in Scopus or Web of Science. However, the committee finds them being relevant and important and also not predatory. So based on that, the committee suggested the names. So I suggest you people to go to the CARE website, which is actually manage this consortium. The nodal point for that is Pune University and Savitribai Phule University Pune. So you can go and create your own credentials, maybe register yourself there, and you can access the list of the journals which are important in your particular domain, or which in which you can publish the articles to get the recognition wherever UGC, as far as UGC is concerned. Then what you have to do is those journals, what those journals will be mentioning their scope, and as per the idea of your work, you should verify whether the scope is matching with the journal or not, journal scope and your work scope, it is matching or not. If it is matching, then only you should send to a particular journal. Then each journal, they specify the copy of instruction. Then these instructions are based on those instructions, authors must prepare the articles. Then select the titles, author affiliation, abstracts, highlights, and these are the components which you must include in your research articles. So there are do's and don'ts to write these stages, which is beyond the purview of this particular class. But if you people have any doubt, or if you want to publish the articles, anytime you can approach us at SOL. We are we will. So we will be helping you in that regard if you want to publish the articles. Uh, then the ethics is another thing which is kind of unwritten rules which you should be following. It doesn't have the legal compliances, but you must be able to, you must follow the ethics when you are doing the research. So research ethics is one of the major concerns nowadays, particularly given the case of plagiarism. Majority of the time, we find that some or other scholar has been caught for doing the plagiarism. Plagiarism is something which is unethical practice when someone lifts others' work and publishes it based on, from his or her own credential without giving proper attribution. So that is the case of plagiarism, and it should be avoided. Recent plagiarism rule 2018 given by UGC, and that rule says that the similarity between the words should not be more than 10%. Whatever new you are generating, the similarity should not be more than 10% when you are publishing any work, any thesis or any article. Then coming back to the next one, this is the research report. When you are reporting the research, you must include these steps. I will move further to discuss about the different types of data. So there are, based on the application, research can be divided into two parts, or maybe categorized in two categories: pure and applied research. So pure research is something which is related to the generalization or formulation of a theory. Like the if you ask me the example of pure research, you can say the Newton's laws are the example of pure research, or the theory, new theory has been generated the based on the observations. Then applied is something which is to solve the immediate problem. Like majority of the computer science research, they develop the tool, and those tools are immediately for helping the people. Like developing an application can be example of applied research. Then for inquiry mode, there are based on the data, or nature of the data, the research can be of qualitative or quantitative in nature. Qualitative is somewhere where quantitative phenomena is involved, whereas when we talk about qualitative, the measurement and it will be qualitative data. Qualitative data will be involved, not the numerals and other kind of the computations will be different, or the analysis will also be different in qualitative. Then research studies include four major types. I have already discussed a bit about that. Exploratory or formulative research, where we wish to gain the familiarity. Mostly it happens when the domain has newly emerged. Okay, that time the exploratory research or formulative research is being performed. When the domain gets um, little matured, that time descriptive studies are used, particularly about it can be done for an individual or a situation or a group. These people can be included. The survey methods are used. Then diagnostic is another research where we determine the frequency based on something which um, something occurs, or with which it is associated with something else. Then hypothesis testing is another where the cause and relationship is being established. So we had discussed the fundamentals of research, and then there are different data collection methods which we have discussed in our class. Let's discuss a bit. Getting some. So am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then in this class, basically, we discussed about survey, questionnaire, interviews, and observation methods. So these are the major methods for data collection which we do in the context of library and information science. To do the survey, the tools we use mostly is questionnaire or interviews, or sometimes observations also. These are the there are several ready-made tools in the market like SurveyMonkey, or even Google Form, or Microsoft also has. So these forms can be used to derive the make the questionnaire. So I suggest you people to I have already given in the practical uh, uh, session when we were discussing the practical component of the data collection. So you must be aware about the what are the do's and don'ts when you are formulating a data collection method, or when you are choosing a data collection method, or when you are doing the data collection. So mostly you can use the questionnaires, and then in questionnaires also the questions, what kind of questions you have to include. Like for example, sometimes you use open-ended questions, sometimes closed-ended questions. Open-ended questions and so these kind of questions you do based on make based on the objective of the study. Then interview can be face-to-face interview, telephonic interview, um, or maybe there can be online interviews as well. Observations, sometimes participatory, sometimes non-participatory observations. So these are the things which we have already discussed in the previous classes. So I will just go to the next sessions which we included, which we discussed. Then another important aspect which I discussed was sample and sampling techniques. This is something which you must be um, practicing, because each and every research you cannot take the entire population. The difference between population and a sample is a, you can say, subset of a population. Suppose a population is like, suppose SOL is a school of open learning students. If you want to do a research, and it has around 4 lakh, more than 4 lakh students. So you can't take each and every student's responses if you are performing any study. So you can choose it, you have to choose it based on certain criteria, and choose the number of students, choose the which who all are the your target audience, and you have to find a representative sample out of it. So one thing you must be taking note into is sample is a subset of a population. So the qualities which are in a population must be reflected in a sample. So for that, there are two major approaches. One is probability sampling and another is non-probability sampling. So probability sampling basically, this is a simple so this is the method where you do the randomization, or you follow the scientific principles mostly to conduct the research or to identify the sample. So there are four major techniques: simple random sampling, cluster sampling, systematic sampling, and stratified sampling with respect to probability sampling. So these components are already been mentioned in the in this particular slide. I just touch upon. So the major nature of this kind of sampling is you have to, randomly select the value that to reduce the selection bias. The probability sampling is being the probability sampling is done. Sometimes you make the cluster, sometimes you systematically choose based on the numbers. Like for example, simple random sampling can be, if there are 100 people, you can choose anyone, or the probability of being chosen will be 1 upon 100 for each and every one. In cluster sampling, you make different clusters. Like for example, colonies, different colonies can be considered. Suppose you are studying a city, different colonies can be the cluster, and from that cluster you can collect the data. And in systematic sampling, suppose you are taking 100, the population is 100, then the sampling, when you are doing sampling, you can systematically collect the certain numbers. Like you have chosen the first person, then fifth person, then 10th person, or 15th person, 20th person, like that you can choose. And in stratified sampling, you make the strata. For example, if you are studying a group of people, you can first make the strata of male and female, and based on that um, you can do the sampling. Then in non-probability sampling, this is basically something where you do not follow the completely randomness, or there is a chance when you are choosing the non-probability sampling, the biasness chance can be there, but sometimes it is not possible to do the probability sampling for your research. So that time you choose for the non-probability sampling. So non-probability sampling, there are a few examples, like convenience sampling. Convenience sampling is based on the convenience of the data. A researcher choose the uh, choose the people whom to be get, whose response is to be get such kind of people will be get based on the convenience of the user or researcher. Then judgmental or purposive, it is based on the purpose. Sometimes your purpose is to purpose is very space specific, so you have to choose, you can go to that particular place and there only you do the you get the sampling. You can't choose each and every one. Then quota sampling is another to mitigate the biasness from non-probability sampling. Suppose you want to take a survey on maybe mm, maybe satisfaction or something. So the people who are domain specific, or people who are who are having more experience, for them you can assign more weightage. The people who are just who have just joined an organization, to study his convenience in the organization, maybe his quota may be reduced. So this is where somewhere you can give the weightage. Snowball is another sampling method where it is like the snowball game which we do in the ice. And other way, the example can be, suppose you want to do a survey or evaluation of a certain tool or a certain aspect of a research, and you have to choose the experts. So to choose the experts, what you can do is you can simply um, uh, you don't know the experts, but somehow you could find one expert, and that one expert will further guide you to the three experts, and those three experts will further guide you to another three. So there will be nine. So you can based on their observations or based on their suggestions, you go for the different people for searching for conducting the collecting the data. So this is another sampling method which is quite popular in the domain. Now, um, I think this is the basic info about the sampling and sampling techniques. Then afterwards, what we discussed was about the metric studies and scientific productivity. So before that, I guess we went for the citations and referencing. So citations and referencing are really important component, particularly from the library and information science perspective, because citations and references are quite often used for multiple purposes. The purposes can be to identify or define the better researcher, better article, or the productivity of a researcher, or to give the citations or credit to the people. So these are the major purposes of citing and referencing. A citation is defined as formal reference to a published or unpublished source that you have consulted within a body of your text that took words, ideas, figures, images, and so on. So mostly there are different methods of citations, but in due course, in citations, you cite based on the title, authors or contributors name, date, and publishing agency, journal title, and then DOIs. To each citation, whether that to verify the citation or once again to do the retrospective search through citations, references are provided to each of the citations. So this is the example which we have already mentioned in in the slide. So citation in this case is as you can see, Kemos, Hu, and Gracia, these are the authors, and this article was written in 2001. And the citation, the author gives credit to these two researchers, and then in the reference list, you can see the bibliographic detail of this particular research is being mentioned. Here, a couple of things we have mentioned or discussed in the class also. There are a basic difference between the citations, references, and bibliography. Reference and bibliography is citation and reference we have already discussed. The difference between reference and bibliography is that sometimes you read or you get some bibliography, but you do not use directly it for your research. So in that case, you do not refer it, rather you just put it in the bibliography section. Then there are certain reasons why we need to reference: to acknowledge the other's work, to recognize the similar or contradictory findings, then to allow the readers to determine interdependently whether the reference material supports the author's argument or claim or not, then to make the author the work more informative, to avoid the plagiarism. These are the certain reasons why why we make just a minute. Why we do the citation. Then coming back to the next section, where I have discussed different types of citations. One is in-text citation, and another is the references. Then in-text citation may be having multiple types: parenthetical citation and narrative citation, as I had discussed. Then the citation which is given in the parenthesis, mostly APA style, is follows the these you can see both narrative and parenthetical signs. So when you are mentioning something, when the citation is given in the beginning, that is narrative citation, and parenthetical citation is something which is given after the text. Then there are different referencing styles, even APA, MLA, Chicago, MHRA, and there are so many. So I have discussed the history and other aspects of the um, these referencing styles. So you must go through into these from the slides. Finally, a comparative study is also given. Then this is the data citation. Data citation is another component which is data citation is uh, another aspect which where data must be cited. Like for example, when you have published the data as well as the article, you may get couple of citations. Since both of them are your intellectual work, so you can get the citation on data as well as on the research articles also. But for that you have to publish your data also in different uh, different journal or different data journals. So this in detail we had discussed in the class. So we will just move forward to the other component which we discussed. Next one is about the I think research design, which we missed. Let us discuss a bit about that. So research design is nothing but blueprint of a work. Okay, so how you are going to conduct a research? For that, you should be able to yes, yeah, just a moment. So it's a blueprint where which tells the plan, structure, and strategy to conduct the research. Okay, so as defined by Karlinger here in about the research design, the research design is a plan, structure, and strategy of investigating conceived as so as to obtain the answer of research questions. So overall, to conduct the research study, entire blueprint comes under the purview of research design. Here I had given this workflow diagram where research design can be qualitative or quantitative. Then there are methods, different methods like experimental, correlational, quasi-experimental, descriptive. These are the quantitative, and qualitative designs include the case studies, phenomenology, ethnography, grounded theory, and many others. Then there are the other components include that you have to first describe the aim and approaches, identify the population and sampling methods, then quantitative and qualitative data methods you have to follow. Then uh, this is the overall picture of research design where first of all you have to describe the aims and approaches, identify the population and sampling methods, data collection methods, data analysis methods, then discuss about whether it is quantitative data analysis or qualitative data analysis. So research methods which are related to qualitative data analysis are content analysis or thematic analysis, as well as discourse analysis, whereas the example of quantitative data analysis are descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. So the major purpose, the need of research design is to guide a research study towards its objective, and it helps to optimize the entire process to make the less effort and to help reducing the effort, getting more benefits, means getting you have to when you have a proper research design, the budget constraints will be reduced, and the overall process can be optimized if properly research design is being done. Then there are different kinds of stages which are performed in research design, which we had already discussed in our class. the slide you can go through about the research design. Then we had also discussed about the historical development of metric studies. The historical development of metric studies include uh, basically when we talk about the metric studies, these are originated from statistics, where using the statistical or mathematical techniques to optimize any process. So here in library and information science, initially Professor Ranganathan gave a term called librometry, and the the timeline of different metric studies include the first kind of study which was formally enunciated in library and information science or related to metric studies is laborametry, which was discussed in one of the conferences in 1948. Then the term came bibliometric study, then scientometric study, infometrics, bibliometrics, altmetrics. So these are the different metric studies which came over time, and the purpose, I mean, in between the bibliometrics, scientometrics, and infometrics, their purpose is very much overlapping. Whereas librometric is something which is the which is very broad and related to the all the operations of libraries. Bibliometrics is related to the book and related materials. Scientometrics is related to mostly the scientific literature. Infometrics is a little broader term, where the works are not limited to just the bibliographies, but more than that, because the information includes everything. Then webometrics is the study of metric study of the web-based environment, web-based resources or web-based information. Then altimetrics is alternative metrics to the existing metrics, where which you can use for a journal for a journal or for an article or for a researcher. Then in the next classes, we had also discussed about the scientific productivity uh, metrics. So in that, this can be divided in three major components. The first component can be the first component can be the author level metrics. The second one is article level metrics, and the third one is journal level metrics. So when we talk about author level metrics, you include some of the basic matrices, like for example H index, citation count, I-10 index, altimetrics, and collaboration metrics. So H index is something which you measure for the researcher's publication, and it is calculated based on the mapping of the citations and the number of articles which they have published. So if an author has got more citation than the order of that particular article or rank of that particular journal article, then the H index is computed based on this ranking as well as the number of citations that particular article has received. I will explain these with one of the examples here in this slide itself. The citation count is very basic, where you can just descriptively understand that which author has got how many citations with respect to their academic publications, or with respect to his academic impact. Then I-10 index is a relatively newer metrics, which came in, I think, 2011 by Google, and mostly Google Scholar use it. And this is basically about the author who has got how many articles of a particular author has got 10 or more than 10 citation. That is that can be understand from the I-10 index. Alternate metrics is another alternative metrics which measures the attention and engagement received by an author's work across various online platforms such as social media mentions, downloads, views, and all that. Then collaboration metrics is another metrics that a particular researcher or author, how at what extent he or she has collaborated with others. Article level matrix is not very popular because mostly when we talk about the works metrics, we go by the journal level metrics instead of going to the article level metrics. For that, okay, so uh, for this, you can perform this based on the citation count, based on the altimetrics, uses metrics that a particular uses metrics, like how much in particular a particular article is used, and then citation velocity, how fast the citations are being received by the particular article, then to how many people the article got the reach. These are the some of the article level matrices. Then journal level matrices include the impact factor, Eisen factor, site score. So some of the journal level matrices are derived by the Web of Science, and quite they fit for the articles which are published in Scopus index journals or Web of Science index journals. So Scopus indexed citation impacts are identified for the journals is site score. For the Web of Science, it is impact factor and Eisen factor score. So just giving a brief idea about H and G index, here you can see I have a table where the citations received by an author, his name is Dr. Who. He has total 8 articles, and all those articles have received respectively 25, 15, 7, 6, 3, 1, 1, and 0 citations. So when you compute the H index, first of all, you have to rank the citations based on the number of citations. So the first article got the first rank because it has more citations, 25. The second one is 15. Third article got 7 citations. Fourth article got 6 citations, and fifth article got 3, and respectively other also. So when you compute the H index, what you have to do is you have to map the rank along with the citation. If the number of if the rank is more than the number of citations, you have to go up. And if the number of rank is equal to or greater than the number of citations, that is where the mapping takes place, and that is where the H index is decided. So in this case, the paper ID D, that's its rank is 4. This is the place where H index is defined for Dr. Who. So his H index is 4. Whereas the I10 index, as I defined, I10 index is something which is identified based on the number of articles which has got more than 10 citations. So for that, you have to divide the citations by 10. So if you divide the citations by 10 and the fraction is more than 1 or equal to 1, then that is the place where the I10 index, that's the rank or the place where I10 index is defined. So in this case, you can see the third article has only 7 citations. If you divide by 7 by 10, it will be less than 1. The ratio will be less than 1. So that is where you have to you go up, and the second rank will be having the will be the place where I10 index will be defined. Then G index is something where you have to identify the cumulative citation, and cumulative citation it's something where you accumulate the other citations. So the first article has 25, the second is 15. Accordingly, you get the cumulative citation by adding the next number of cited articles citations. Then here the G index will be defined at rank where and also you have to make the rank square. So rank square here will be 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25, 36, 49. So in this case, the G index is defined at rank 7 because its square is 49, which is less than the cumulative citation, that's 58. If you go to the next citation, next article, that is H, H has the rank square of H article is 64, whereas the cumulative citation is only 58. So that is why you have to go one article up, and G index will be defined at 49. So for that, the concerning rank is 7, so the G index in this case is 7. So what is the meaning of this particular exercise is, when you get a certain people who will be having very uh, one article of a journal has may have got huge citation, maybe 100 or 200, but that is not considered in H index, whether it is 100, and if the second article has one citation, then his H index will be only one. Whereas if that person has got written many articles, and those articles, even though they have got one or two or three or zero citations, then also, since one of the articles have got more citations, the overall rank will be higher and the G index will be more. Then coming back to the next part, that is journal level metrics. So as I have already defined, journal level metrics is site score is something which is given by Scopus, and here you can identify the site score based on the total number of citations you have got, and total articles are being published in last 3 years. So based on that, the citation scores are identified, and there are some limitations and advantages of each and every metrics. So those you should be identifying and going through. Then the impact factor is another another metrics which is usually for the art journals which are published, which are indexed in Web of Science. So here the difference between site score and impact factor is the number of years are reduced to 2 here. Otherwise, for the site score it was 3, and the computation method is same. You can calculate accordingly. Then there are advanced matrices which you should be which we had discussed in the previous classes. uh, Next, after scientific productivity, we had also discussed about data management. uh, so data management is something which is quite uh, related to library and information science. This is the domain where you must be the dwelling into. This is the area where a lot of research is being going on, particularly library and from the library and information science perspective. Given the scenario that libraries and information centers are managing the information from the ages, now is the high time that they can go for managing the data as well. So there are certain stages or steps which they should be doing in data management, and the data can be a research data or government data. In both way, the data management can be performed. The For the research data, what you have to do is, when you are managing the research data, to create and gather the research data, use the open standards, using the open standards for the data, so that even if tomorrow the standard gets changed, or commercial vendor is not allowing the data set, you have the opportunity to migrate or use it for longer period of time. Then you have to describe the data, use the classification strategies, particularly ontology based tools, semantic web tools. Then you have to back it up, archive and distribute the data for the long term use. So these are the basic steps which data manager must be aware of. uh, so the reason behind why data management is performed is because data is valuable asset and has to be recognized and an asset. If you want to, you know, data recognition is important, and based on the data, a lot of inferences can be developed. And similar to information, data is also needed to be reused, and data is also needed to be um, managed. Then there are the different policies. So NPDSA is the both organization which is doing working for the policy. Another important thing is data management plan. So when you any researcher is doing research, it has been made mandatory by the different funding agencies that they should be publishing the data management plan before they submit for the grant. They submit their synopsis or their proposal for the grant itself. So it is really important because it helps you to it is a guiding uh, guiding document or guiding instrument for the researcher, that how the data should be managed, optimally managed, because a lot of money and a lot of effort is being involved in any kind of data collection, and in any kind of uh, research. So if data management plan is developed and based on the data, based on that, if data is stored and shared to the people, it will reduce the redundancy, and a lot of money and effort uh, can be reduced. So there are different tools for data management planning. So one of the tool is data and one of the tool is DMP tool. Another tool is DMP online, and other tools are also there, like Tub DMP is there, EZ DMP is there, and there are so many other DMPs. So with this, let's discuss about the data management plan, which is one of the practical component. And I just share my screen, and I just show you how to make a data management plan using DMP tool. So this is important aspect, and you should be thorough about DMP plans, because data management plans. Because whenever you are going to tell about data management or research data management, this is something which is the practical skill, or this is something which you must be aware of, or this includes all the research data management components. Data management plan includes all the research data management components. So I will just explain with the example. Okay, just the my screen is visible. I'm my screen is visible to the students. Yes, no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So I will just share my screen and show you how to make a data management plan based on a case study. This is important. Okay. So just look into it. I know a tool called DMP tool. DMP tool. DMP tool. Based on that, I will show you how to make a data management plan. I just can you see the screenshot also? Screenshot where it is written led by William R. Eargard something.
No, sir.
Okay, I just share the entire screen then. Uh, just share that screen. Now, can you see a
Yes, sir.
screenshot here where it is written led by Dr. William R. something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So now I just screenshot. Now there are two parts of my screen. Is it visible? Both?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So DMP tool, this is how DMP tool mm, looks like. And the data which I am showing here is taken from one of the courses which is powered by um, Coursera. And in that course, that is on research data management and sharing. That is the course, and I duly acknowledge them. This is just for the educational purpose. So in the right side, I have shared DMP tool. This is the tool which I am going to use for preparing a data management plan. Okay. So in the left side of the screen, you can see there is a huge case. Huge case includes um, suppose wait a minute. The huge case is led by William R. Biergard. The Public Opinion Poll Institute is submitting a project proposal to a Social, Behavioral and Economic Science Directorate of National Science Foundation (NSF) SBE as part of larger product project to collect and analyze longitudinal public opinion data for the proposed project. The team will be collecting US based public opinion data via telephonic survey as a means to measure trends in attitudes of American public to obtain a representative sample. The project plans to collect interview responses from approximately 1,000 adults from all the regions of the United States. So this is what they are going to plan. Okay, and the person who is leading this particular project is his name is Dr. William R. Beargard. Okay, so these are the other basic information, like in this paragraph you can see the interview data will be collected based on certain software, and then about the software is also mentioned. Then where the responses will be stored, that is also mentioned here. Who is the principal investigator, that is mentioned. How data cleaning will be take place, and how what are the softwares which will be required for the analysis, and then whether the human subject is involved or not. Then which all are the other measures, like what are the security and other measures in this regard. Then the project will also propose public use version, different versioning of the data. Then what metadata is going to be used. Then what is the embargo period, that is 1 year for publishing that. So this is the huge case. Okay, this is what a person is going to going to work on, and this based on this a report need to be submitted to the funding agency, that is National Sound Science Foundation. So DMP tool, when you go to DMP tool, first of all you have to register. Since I have already registered, I just logged in, and there is nothing, you don't have to even verify your email. You can give a email ID and user ID and password. With that you just log in and start creating the plan. Now you can see in the right side of my screen, based on this particular case, I'm going to make a plan. So suppose so the first question which here they are asking is what research project are you planning. So since it is a mock plan, I am just mentioning it mock project for testing, practice or educational purposes. Since I am not the person who is going to make the plan, data management plan. This is not the case study of this place. So I will just mention, since this is related to social behavioral economic science directorate. Okay, so I will just mention it like the author's name itself, like Wilson's plan, Williams plan rather, Williams plan, Williams plan. So next what I have to do is select the primary research organization. Okay, so since my organization is here, the organization is public opinion polling organization. So you have to just search here a few words, and by default it give you public Opinion POP Institute. We just see if someone else want to join. Yes. So let me once again go to the screen. The public opinion polling group is the based on this data, based on this huge case. I have put the public opinion polling institute. Then the funder in this case, you can see here is National Science Foundation, NSF-SBE, National Science Foundation, NSF. You can add it. Which DMP template would you like to use? Here you can check. NSF has multiple templates like BCO, NSF, AGE, and there are so many other. For us, it is SBE. So we can just choose the last one, that is NSF SBE, Behavioral Economic Sciences, and start creating the plan. You have to start, and then you can see this Williams plan has multiple tabs I have opened here: project details, collaborators, right to plans, research output, finalize, and you can download the plan. So project's title in this case, you can mention as maybe Williams plan itself, which is for the testing purpose. Then in the abstract, you can mention like this is for educational purpose. Then later you can go to the next where research domain. So what is the research domain in this case? Since it is related to social, behavioral, and economic sciences, so I am going to put it as a social science. Social science is the broader term in this regard. So this is the domain. Then the project start date, I don't think it is mentioned here. So randomly we can give some date, maybe January 1st, 2024. Project end date is maybe 25 or 25 February 1st. These details you can give. Then funder list is there. If you don't have the funders list, you can select here. Funding status, still it is in planning stage. Funding opportunity number, if you have some number, you can random numbers you can give. Grant number can also be given, and then you have to save it. Then the next one is collaborators. Who all are the other contributors or collaborators? Here you can see the other collaborators detail is not mentioned, but the project is being made by Dr. William R. E. Gard or something you can mention. Then email you have to mention abc@test something.com. Then ARCID ID we don't have. Affiliation is already mentioned. Then the role that applies to the contributor is he is the principal at investigator. You can save it. Then after collaborator, I am the owner though. This is different. You can invite the collaborator as well from here. Then write the plan. Actual plan you have to write here. So each and everything is mentioned here. So research data management, when you define, it includes all these stages. You can get the guidance you can get here, roles and responsibilities. The DMP should outline the rights and obligation of all parties as to their roles, responsibilities in the management and retention of research data. It should also consider changes to roles, responsibilities that will occur. So here, based on this suggestion itself, you can put something based on the use case. So in this use case, the project Principal investigator bears the responsibility of complying with rules regulation. PI will be compliant to rules and regulations. Then PI will include PI will include data management costs. Okay, you can see here, read here and fill all the details whichever is there in the use case. You have to save it. Next is expected data. So here you have to mention what kind of data you are getting. You are getting uh, survey based data, you are doing interviews will also interview based, maybe unstructured data. All that you can mention here. You can put bullet points and all, beautification and all you can do easily. Then period of data retention. So here the period of data retention, here you can see embargo is for 1 year. Embargo 1 year. This data, then after saving it, you can go to the data format and dissemination. So here you can see sav strata and already mentioned dot sav dot strata dot dta. You can make it little elaborated when it is asked in an exam or something. Here I am just to show you, I am just using some points. Dot sav etc. Then next one is data storage and preservation. So data storage and preservation also, if you see in the left side, the somewhere it is mentioned, collected using CATI software databases, centralized databases. Here it is written centralized databases. So this, after this information, you can move to the next part. Additional possible data management requirements, more stringent. So the guidance is already given here. For example, more stringent data management requirements may be specified in particular this form. Additional requirements will be specified in the program solicitation and all. So if you find something relevant in the data sets, I am putting none. um, you can put anything else if you find anything more related or relevant. Writing plan is done, then research output. So please list your anticipated research output. So here you can write new research output. So the research output, I'm expecting that it is going to be maybe a model or maybe data set. So data sets, the title will be expectedly maybe social science data set. Simply I'm putting it, it may be something else. Then description of that also. The data will be useful for maybe social science practitioner practice practitioners maybe. Then may contain sensitive data. So here you can see some human elements are also involved. So may contain personal identifiable information or not. Yes, you can add it. If some repository is there, fine. Some metadata, as a add a metadata standard. Here you can add a metadata standard, maybe DDI. Then Then DDI is given. Yeah, descriptive DDI metadata standard. So they list out here data documentation initiative. I will put data documentation initiative. Initiative spelling error. Creative. Yeah, it is here DDI. So I can just choose it. Then DDI is there. Then access. Access will be controlled access because 1 year embargo period is there. And since I have given the data 2025, so after embargo 2026 only, the data will be available. You can choose from here. Maybe after 2nd February 2026, the anticipated release date, and initial license may be a certain license they have mentioned here, but I'm just for the practical purpose using a initial license. So then finalize it. For finalizing, you have to set plan visibility, set a visibility to so if I set it here public so everyone can see, so I just set it as private. Set visibility. Okay, make your plan visible. At least 50% is done. Register your plan for DMP ID and all that we are not going to do. This is the finalizing stage. Then the download. If it is for educational purpose or just for the demonstration purpose, you cannot select whether your plan will be visible or not. Then and you can download it in various formats: CSV, PDF, text, or other formats. Include a project detail cover sheet. Include any unanswered questions. It is not required. Include project detail cover sheet also not required. But okay, let us put it in Times New Roman, and you can select the margin and all that. Download the plan, new window. So now you can see in the left corner. Have to increase it. Now I am closing this, increasing it. So the plan which we have made now, it has come like this. Williams plan, plan overview, title, creator, affiliation, principal investigator, funder. This is the data management plan which has come here now with the questions, whatever answers I have given and everything here. The other details, plan research. So this is how you make a data management plan. Okay. This is important as a practitioners, data management practitioners. It is advised that you must, this is fairly easy. You have to just follow the instructions and do it. Okay, so now it is clear. Data management plan. Okay, so if questions come, you have to if it can come like creating data management plan based on a huge case, so you have to do all that. Okay, whatever I have shown to you, if it comes in an exam or uh, for the practical purposes also, outside also, if you want to submit certain project, you may be asked in future. In India also, in USA it has been made mandatory. So if you want to submit any project, you have to submit data management plan. However, in India it has not started, but it will start soon. Okay, because the agencies, they are in the process. Okay, so when it starts, you will be having an edge to know about data management planning and how to perform the data management plan. uh, till now, any doubt? or maybe I will just go to the another aspect which we were supposed to cover, that is R. Okay, R Studio. I will just show you installation and all were already done. But once again, I would show you for installing R, you have to just put install R, and I had shown in the previous class as well when we had the PCP sections, PCP sessions. So first of all, you have to go to the POSIT website, then R Studio and R both are available here. You have to download and install R, and then download and install R Studio. So you have to follow the basic instructions. The instructions include giving the access to R and R Studio. Once both are downloaded, um, you can just search here in the search bar R Studio. As now I'm just closing it. It's already open. Since I have downloaded, I just put R Studio. My screen is visible to all of you. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So R Studio, you have to search, and this kind of window will be visible. Now, and later. So since I have already installed the packages, it is showing different packages to me. If you are starting first time, what you have to do, you have to go to install and search here bibliometrics, Biblio bibliometrics, this, and you have to click here, and once you click here, it will click here and put the install button. It will start in the left corner. You can see the prompt will start running and your bibliometrics packages will be installed. Now, the next stage after installing, you could see the bibliometrics will be visible in the user library. Even if it is not there, you can go to the packages, and in the search bar right corner, you can see here. Um, just a minute. You can go to the search bar and search bibliometrics. If you have already downloaded, which many of you had done in the previous class, you have to just select the bibliometrics here, and in the left corner you can see different a prompt has run, and bibliometrics library has opened. Now, since we have to work on we have to work for citation analysis, we also have to start the BiblioShiny. BiblioShiny is GUI based um, infrastructure where you can perform all the scientometric analysis based on the data set taken from PubMed or Scopus or Web of Science. Okay, so here I'm putting just BiblioShiny. And immediately when you put a few words, it shows in the bottom the remaining, and just after putting the BiblioShiny, I am getting making enter, and as soon as I made enter, I put enter, it took me to my default browser, which is Edge browser, and it is showing the first page of BiblioShiny. This is GUI based tools which has been made on top of bibliometrics package. Here, to know more about bibliometrics and BiblioShiny, you can just go to bibliometrics website. I'm just clicking on this to show you the slide where the basic information about bibliometrics has been given. Let us just you can go to the tutorial for easy access. Package tutorial and BiblioShiny tutorials. Two kind of tutorials are given here. Just I am putting a slide on. BiblioShiny. So as you can see, this slide they have uploaded here, BiblioShiny project, and it is a step-by-step guide how to use the BiblioShiny. I will go to my BiblioShiny also and I will show you how it works. But before that, a basic information about BiblioShiny and bibliometrics is mentioned here. It was basically written and as an article in Journal of Infometrics, as the title was Bibliometrics, an R tool for comprehensive science mapping analysis, and it was written by a couple of authors, Aria and Rulosi in 2017. It's open source tool, and you don't have to do much but install the R and start R packages. So it takes the data set bibliographic data from Scopus, Web of Science, Dimension, Lens, PubMed, and Cochrane databases. And from there, it performs the analysis. So many of the times you must be seeing the people who are writing articles based on the manual methods, like collecting the data, using some counting each of the citations, doing different kind of analysis. That's a very tedious job. To reduce the effort and time in that regard, also cost effective as well. So these authors, they prepared a package called bibliometrics package, and to make it easier they made BiblioShiny app, which runs on web. Okay, so BiblioShiny app, this is how it starts, this is how it looks, where Shiny dashboard packages will be listed, and bibliometrics package is something which is working in the backend. Then this is the basic information about bibliographic databases, which you are aware, all of you are aware of, so I am not going to uh, go for that. Rather, I would directly go to just a minute. Directly go to bibliometrics, BiblioShiny rather, BiblioShiny interface. So BiblioShiny interface for installation, you can see here you have to search, install the bibliometrics, and as I shown, you have to just uh, import the library bibliometrics and put BiblioShiny afterwards, and the screen will of BiblioShiny will be visible like this, where as you can see here, the notification about the software, it's a tutorial, it's about the possibility of making donations, links to bibliometrics, and all those information will be visible here. There are four levels of analysis which can be performed in this, based on source, based on author, based on document, and based on clustering. And then there are three structure of knowledge, named as conceptual structure, intellectual structure, and social structure. Based on sampled collection, I will show you the basic detail of it. Uh, Here, these are the focus of domain, different matrices like overview, sources, author affiliation, and all those details will be there. Then keyword analysis, co-citation analysis, citations, collaborations, all those analysis can be performed here and get ready-made many a times. Now, it helps you to import the data or load the file or gather data using web APIs, or um, the web APIs will be based on Scopus, Web of Science, or PubMed, dimension based as well. Loading and converting a metadata collection, for that you have to, if you want to get from PubMed, you have to register first through PubMed ID, and then or dimension ID. There are different options also to import the raw files in bib or text or CIS or CWS, CSV format as well. Loading and converting a metadata collection is another mm, so these things I just with this I just go to the BiblioShiny app and start showing there itself. Yeah, so this is the interface of BiblioShiny. Then info and data. Here all these informations we have already discussed in slide. Let us move to the data. I want to show you there are two options: loading the data and gathering the data. So loading is from the you can load or gather the data. If you want to gather the data, there are two sources: DS dimension and PubMed. Whereas for both, you need to have the API. You have to put API and download the dataset. Here, I will just load the data which is already available as used as a sample collection. You can import raw files or load bibliometrics file as well. I just start it, and when I started, you could see in the left corner more buttons are visible. Filters are there, overview is there, sources, authors, documents, clustering, conceptual structure, intellectual structure, social structure, and report. So I just go to the author and most relevant authors in this domain I want to know. I just so for that there are two options. Either you can get in table or in a plot. So so the most here in this case you could see in the plot, this is a um, line chart they have given based on number of documents and authors. So this particular author in this data set has got maximum number of documents, that is 20, and others details are also given. The same thing can be imported in table as well. So the tabular information. So it depends, since it is working on web, it depends upon the connectivity, the internet as well. So when you click on table, the information should be visible on the table. Then most local cited article. So let me see it here. He's the person. Then other things, Lodka's law for the author productivity. Then uh, I just one sec. There is some error. No error. My screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Then table also author productivity through Lotka, number of authors, proportion of the authors, all those details are also visible. Then affiliation production over time, all those details about data can be visible here. You can see. So suppose it is asked to you in the exams and all, you should be able to download the BiblioShiny or open the BiblioShiny or Bibliometrics and show based on the available data sets particular components if it is asked. Or you should be knowing that what kind of data sets or what kind of data sets are required for which kind of analysis. Then document specific analysis can also be performed here. Most global cited documents, references, most frequent words. This is for the GIFs. Maybe word frequency and all can be obtained here. Let us see. Science word has appeared in most of the document. Then other words like innovation, and other terms like impact management, and other terms are also there. Then you can go to the word cloud also. Word cloud can also be performed. These are the, see, this is how you can perform this analysis. Mm. Then it is not limited to document and author. There are other matrices also which can be identified. Then clustering can be made. Clustering in the sense, clustering by coupling, like network analysis of the authors, tabular clusters. Then just yeah, you can see how each authors have published together. Advanced technique they have used, conceptual structure. Then co-occurrence network means how these how different keywords and different keywords have appeared together. This network, thematic map, factorial analysis using the dendrogram. So these beautiful diagrams can be derived if you have the data. And if you have the access of Web of Science or Scopus, it has become fairly easy for a researcher to perform the bibliometric or related studies nowadays using this particular tool. Okay, so you can see majority of the people, they are writing the articles in our domain related to scientometrics and informatics. So these data and these analysis has been already provided quite easily. And if any of you want to further proceed to make the analysis, or you want to learn further, you can just um, go to bibliometrics package and explore it. I suggest all of you to look into it. This is fairly easy, and you can really do a lot of exercise on this particular tool. So I think now it's a time that I ask you to ask different questions if you are having related to the course, anything. Um, if you have any question, please ask.
Uh, Will you be setting our question paper for like theory exam?
This question I did not expect, and I don't know.
I'm asking this, sir, because like if another person set our exam, so if he looks the overview of our syllabus, there are certain terms that are not being, like I would say, like taught or maybe like explained in detail. For example, there is this Jupyter notebook and Apache
Yeah,
Tomcat. Yeah. So
exactly.
so
So they actually Jupyter notebook is nothing but a environment that is just for see. I some of the things which we are going to update, because Jupyter notebook is as such not a something which should be taught. Okay, Jupyter notebook, if you go and search, it is nothing but a IDE. Okay, this just provides you a development environment. Like suppose I write Google, no, so R Studio. What does R Studio means? R Studio is nothing but IDE for R. Similarly, Jupyter Notebook is used for as a IDE for writing Python codes. what else can be taught in that. So don't worry about that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Mm. Any other question, query, or anything? I think your exam dates are finalized. Your exams will be starting 27 onwards, 27, 28, 29, and 31. So uh, these are the dates. Accordingly, you can plan if you are outside. And very soon, the examination department will release the date sheet, official date sheet as well. Okay. So the first exam, if I remember correctly, is DADLM 05 only. Uh, then DADLM 08, that is on 28th. The project will be evaluated, whatever. And then 29th will be content development. And then there is a gap of 1 day before programming. And programming is on 31st. If you have any other queries or questions, please ask.
Also, sir, there is this topic in our unit 4 related to web-based research information management system. So, can you please explain it a little?
Yeah, sure. So those are nothing but just a minute. Let me see the syllabus. It's mm, web-based. Okay, this is the first class. This is information management system. So one of the examples of information management system is library itself, where information is managed. But when we talk about web-based management, information management systems, the examples for that can be different bibliographic databases like Scopus, Web of Science, PubMed, or maybe Dimensions. These are the different web-based information management systems where they are managing the information. There are different digital libraries also. They also manage the information, and so in general you can compare with analog or physical library system, which is also information management system. When that information is managed in the web environment, the examples I told, Scopus, Web of Science, and other bibliographic databases. So those are the web-based information management systems. Okay. So part of that, see, there are overlapping. As I told that we are in the process to update the things because some things are in the syllabus. We improve upon about the things whatever we create once. So in our syllabus, there are the things which we are going to improve upon and make it mutually exclusive, because many topics you could see maybe in they are in one topic and simultaneously one paper, and they are simultaneously in other paper also. So in the last
Yes,
semester
sir.
itself you have been it has been covered. The information management system, Web of Science, Scopus, and all those things are already covered. So we are taking care of that, and it will be compact. As of now, the components are not mutually exclusive. Rather, they are you can find many topics in multiple chapters. Like even though they are related, but will be taught in only one paper, not in both the papers. They are related. I'm not saying they have been put wrongly. Rather, they have been put twice. Okay, so they have been put so that you can relate with the that particular unit also, that particular uh, uh, course also, that particular paper also. Okay, like for example, in content development paper you could see reference management or reference management software are included there also. So it will not be taught on both the places. Here in DADLM 5 I am teaching the reference management. In DADLM 6 that is also there. I mean the reference management things are also there in DADLM 6. So exclusively we are going to make little more compact, even though the purpose for putting them in different units was to make sure that they, since it is distance education, so that you can relate and read, and that was the reason why they are put. So in examination those questions or those things will be asked in only one paper only, that will be ensured, so you people should not be much worrying about it.
Okay, sir.
Any other question?
Sir, you taught the DMP plan, but I mean, it will be required only if we go like at a higher level where where we'll be when we'll be working on a project or something. But as of now, though, sir, I mean, we really cannot work on it. I mean,
No,
because we are
no,
not.
no, you can't say that. See, this is like mm, you have to grab this opportunity. I told you very soon the posts are going to be advertised as data librarian very soon in India also. In Western countries, it has already started. So data librarianship, if you have the competency of data libraries, how you can manage the data library, then only you can manage. You do not limit yourself, as I told, you do not limit yourself to the physical library or the digital library. Few years back, probably during before T-Space or this Greenstone and other software came, no one was talking about institutional repositories. Still, very few people are talking about data repositories. But the first data repository conference was organized in 2008 itself at Bangalore. Then a couple of workshops and other things are also. The same argument is given that the what is the need of linked data and other principles. But now you check, now you see the classic catalog cards are gone. Mark will also are not going to last for very long. Okay, linked data is going to be the future. So semantic web and linked data will be used for the retrieval of the documents and resources. Linking up the information will be inevitable. So slowly these things will come up. This is the advanced topic which has not yet started. That is true, but as a PGDADLM student, it is expected from you, and the course is something. The title itself is digital library and automation, automated and digital library. That means already the library has crossed one stage, and you are being trained for the next stage librarian or next stage library and information science professional. So that is where I suggest you do not underestimate this area. This is the area where you are going to be hired. Maybe many of you may be hired in future as a data manager or data librarian. Okay, so explore it.
Sure, sir.
Anything else? Okay, then with this, have a nice day and best of luck for your exams.
Thank you, sir.